All right, welcome back to our final three games of this 1987 Miami Hurricanes replay using a new drive-by-drive football game engine that I'm making. And this is a game engine made for college football, but would certainly work for the NFL. We'll just have to make sure that everything is, not specified for the NFL or college or whatever it is. But we'll be able to maybe incorporate this even into play action football using the ratings. But Miami faces their final three teams. They're 7-1. They had a surprise defeat early in the season, and they're not undefeated like they were in real life. But we're going to play out the games as if they were. It'll be number 10, Notre Dame at Miami. Then number 8, South Carolina, and the Gamecocks come to Miami. And then finally, the national championship game, OU, technically at Miami. So they're technically the home team. I don't think I'm going to give any home field advantage. It should be a home game for Miami because they played at the Orange Bowl. So it actually was a home game. I'm not going to play it like that. I'm going to play them straight up. But it was a home game. So we're going to have Notre Dame at Miami. We're going to be using our new advanced charts. So the advanced charts are, you have more options. I know I got a weird camera angle here this time, but and you can't see everything, but maybe I can get a chance to kind of show you afterward. But there's going to be a lot of options here. So like 4th and 2, you can choose a quarterback sneak or play action pass. Everything comes with its own risk and reward. After a turnover, the recovering team is going to get a +1. So like here, if you go for the long touchdown pass, you got a 40% chance of that, but there's a 60% chance of an interception, and then you give the team a +1 coming back the other way. So there's a little bit of risk and reward here. We're going to play with the injuries and penalties. That'll be this roll. We have a kickoff return for touchdown. I'll try to remember that after each. It'll be at the beginning of each half and then after each score. And then when there's a field goal miss, we can see if there's a field goal block. A 1 on the field goal block roll is going to be a touchdown for 7 points. Otherwise, it's either a block with no TD or no block on the play and just a missed field goal. So there's a little bit extra gamesmanship. We have an onside kick here, and then we'll see. I haven't had to run any 2-point conversions. We'll see if that comes up in the game at all. So let's roll these dice. The black die is going to be for the home team, the white die for the visiting team, which will be Notre Dame. We'll see who gets the ball first. It will be the visiting team, so it'll be the Fighting Irish who get the ball first. And they are number 10 in the country, so we have a top 10 matchup. Teams are the same tier. There's no bonus, but since Miami is the home team and a true home team, they're going to get a -1 to the Notre Dame roll. So first roll 15 is nothing. 12 becomes an 11. That's a 9-play drive, reaches the edge of field goal range. Do we do a long field goal or punt? It's a 40% chance of making the field goal. Let's go ahead and try to put points on the board. We're looking at the green die. It's a 3, and that's up and in. And one of the things that I've added is yardage. So we could actually see 40 yards. That's the field goal, and Notre Dame's going to take a 3-0 lead. All right, a 10 on the kickoff return roll. That's nothing. It has to be a 2. So we'll re-roll. A 12. That doesn't do anything. We need a 2, 5, 17, or 20 on the injury roll. So Miami is even Steven here. A 14 is going to be quarterback hurried on 3rd and long. We'll roll 1d10 for the play result. The roll is a 7. Quarterback is sacked. Team settles for a short field goal. That's 25 plus 4, so 29-yard field goal for Miami. And that's going to tie the game at 3. All right, kickoff. No touchdown. Notre Dame with the ball. You can see it doesn't add too much to the game to have to do that. Notre Dame 13, becomes 12 with their -1. Sack on third down sets up a 42-yard field goal attempt. 1-6 is good. It's a 4, and that's going to be up and in from 42 yards. So a couple of long field goals for Notre Dame here in the first half of the first half. Kickoff, no touchdown return. And Miami on their second drive is going to have a good one. It'll be a 17, though, so that's going to be a defensive penalty. We have a 16, so in defensive penalty, the offense can take the penalty and roll again, or they can decline and take the play result. We have a 16. That's going to be a touchdown run, and that run goes for 19 yards. So they are going to decline, and that will be a TD run. That's 6 points for Miami. +1 is 7, and they lead 10-6. So beginning the, that should be here. Beginning the back half of the first half, we have a 16, and that's no run back for a touchdown. And 11 is nothing. 12 becomes 11. 9-play drive puts them at the edge of field goal range. They're going to go ahead and punt. So they punt. The ball is down inside the opponent's 5-yard line, and Miami will have a -1 to the next drive. So we'll call it a punt as they play field position football. And Miami has a -1 on this drive. A 9 is nothing. 11 becomes 10. A blitz on third and short. And we have to see what the result is. 1-2, it's a fumble. And Notre Dame will get a +1. Or it's a defensive stop with a punt. 6 is going to be a defensive stop as they make a nice play, and the result is a Miami punt. So Notre Dame with the football. An 8 is nothing. An 8 here becomes a 7. 8-play drive ends near midfield. And we're looking at the D10 for the punt. A 1 is going to be a punt block, and the defense returns it for a touchdown. Oh my gosh. And that's going to be the way that we end the half. So we call that a punt. Miami, it's going to count as their possession. So a punt return, punt block, touchdown. And they're just going to get 7 straight up. Sorry, they don't have to kick the extra point. So Notre Dame shut out in the back half of the first half. It's now 17-6, Miami over Notre Dame. And Miami's going to get the ball first. Let's check the, let's see if there's a run back for a touchdown. No run back. And Miami starts with their first drive of the second half. They have a 14. 14 is going to be quarterback hurried on 3rd and 10. What will be the result? The result is a 4. He runs for a first down. That's Walsh, not prone to scrambling, but he does get the first down. And that's going to result in a touchdown run of 5 yards. So ultimately, a scramble keeps the drive alive. Steve Walsh, and that's going to lead to 6 points. 7 points, sorry. So nice drive there. It's now 24-6, Miami over Notre Dame. And let's see if Lou Holtz can rally the troops here. A 10 is no run back on the kickoff. We have an 18. That's a good roll. 14 here is nothing. So 18 becomes 17. That is a zone read, so a long touchdown run. 37 yards on the TD run as Notre Dame fights back in this one here in the second half. And maybe Holtz has rallied the troops. So Notre Dame puts up a touchdown. Let's see about the run back. No run back for a touchdown. That only happens, around 1% of the time, which a 2 on a adding 2d10s, a 2 to 20 roll. It's a 1% chance, so it's right around there. All right, 17, we have another defensive penalty. So penalty on the Fighting Irish, a 7. 8-play drive ends near midfield, but we got the defensive penalty, so the offense can take the penalty and roll again. That's what we're going to do. You never know that you're going to get a better roll, but there's a 4. 4 is nothing. A 7. It's the same exact result, so we'll see. A 6 is going to be a punt. And Notre Dame with the football, they are down 24-13. On 2 scores. Is that right? 24-13. Sorry, they're down by 11. We have a 15 here. That's nothing. We have a 4 that becomes a 3. We have a 3rd and 9 from the offense's 37-yard line. Do we run a pass or draw? I think we got to go for the pass. If we get it, it'll be a first down. We can roll again. If we don't, then it's an interception on a tipped pass. The other result is a draw play, which gets you 5 yards, but a punt, or there's a 2% chance of getting a first down. So we'll take the pass. They're down, and they need to start to push the envelope a little bit. We're looking at the green die. A 9 is going to be an interception on a tipped pass. So INT, and Miami is going to get a +1 on this drive for getting the interception. We have an 8. That's nothing. A 7 becomes an 8. 4th and 2, do we do the quarterback sneak or do we do play action? We're going to fake it, and we're going to throw it to Mike Irvin down the field. 1-4, it's a TD pass. Otherwise, it's an interception. Oh, Jimmy Johnson rolls the dice. Walsh fakes the handoff, looks downfield, finds his big man, Mike Irvin. And that is going to lead to a touchdown pass for Irvin as he shakes one defender off, and he is down the sideline for a touchdown. And that all but puts it away for the Miami Hurricanes, who are going to put up a 7 spot here in the last half of the second half. Their seventh drive. So let's look at the kick return for a touchdown. There's not one. And we'll roll again. Notre Dame, they're now down 31-13. An 18 is nothing here. 16, that's a good roll, but it becomes a 15. So they got a hurry up drive. That is a touchdown on a seam route. And that's going to be 27 yards. TD pass. So you can kind of keep track of these if you want to. And the extra point is good. So Notre Dame trying to hang in there as they have the hurry up offense going. It's now 31-20. They're down by 11. We need to do the onside kick. They got to try to get the ball back here. So a 2-7, it's going to go to the kicking team. It's a 10, and that's going to go to the receiving team. So Miami recovers the onside kick. We have a 12. 12 is nothing. 14. 14, quarterback hurried on 3rd and long. Let's see what happens on the play. A 3. He runs for a first down again. Steve Walsh, not known to be a scrambler, but he's hit on a couple of scrambles that keep drives alive. That's going to be a touchdown for 18 yards. It's going to lead to a touchdown run of 18 yards. So 18 yards. And that's 6 +1. As Miami scores 14 here in the second half. Let's see if there's a return for a touchdown. There's not. And Notre Dame with their final possession, as they cannot win this one, but they're going to run this one out. 10 becomes a 9. 1st and 10 from the 42. We're going to pass deep. 1-6. It's a touchdown pass. 7-10 interception. And that is going to be a touchdown pass. That's from the 42-yard line. The defense's 42-yard line. So that leaves them, 58 yards. No, 42. It's 42 yards. So touchdown plus the extra point. And it's going to be too little too late for Notre Dame as they go down in this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 38, 1, 2, 3 to 27 as they lose by 11 to the Hurricanes at home. So a little bit of drama there, but not too much there in the back half. But both teams scored 21 points in the second half after a bit of a sluggish first half. So now Miami moves on to South Carolina. They're now 8-1, and it will be South Carolina with a -1, both top 10 teams. So they're going to carry a -1 into this game. Miami one step away from the national championship. Home team, a 7. They're going to take the ball first. We'll see about the kick return. No kick return for touchdown. And Miami's first play, 17. That's going to be another defensive penalty. A 12 is going to be a sack on third down. It's a field goal attempt. We are going to roll the dice and try again. So the defensive penalty means the offense can roll again. A 15 is no penalty. A 12 is going to be the exact same thing. So they're in the same position. 1 to 6, the field goal is good. It is a 6, and the field goal is up and good. That field goal from 42 yards. Sorry, it's already there. So 42-yard field goal. They had a good one. Cox, their field goal kicker, was a good one. So let's check out the kick return. 14 is no kick return. South Carolina on offense for the first time against this Miami defense. 13 is nothing. A 7 becomes a 6. So we're going to wind up with 2nd and 4 from near midfield. Should we run the ball or run a flea flicker? The flea flicker has a 30% chance of working. That's going to be a 50-something yard touchdown. And running the ball is an 80% chance of getting to roll again. So let's do that. Otherwise, it's going to be a fumble return for a TD. So let's see. And they're going to run for the first down as they get 5 yards. They only needed 4. So we're going to roll again here. South Carolina still on offense. We get a 13. That's nothing here. A 7 becomes a 6. We're at the same place. Let's go for the flea flicker this time. 1 to 3. They're going to score on a perfect throw for a touchdown, but it's a 4. That's an INT. As it must have been Benny Blades coming over. He was not fooled. And he comes over and he makes the pick. So they get an INT. Miami is going to take over 1st and 10. They're going to get a +1 on the next drive. A 5 is an offensive penalty. So 7 becomes an 8. And let's see. Let's go ahead and roll this out, and we'll see if the offense wants to take it or not. Let's do the quarterback sneak. 1 to 7, it's a first down. It is a first down. And the offensive penalty, the defense is going to take that and force a punt. So Miami with an opportunity there with the +1, but they can't capitalize as they get the first down on the quarterback sneak, but there's a penalty as they jumped off. It was a false start, and that kills the drive. So they are forced to punt. So South Carolina with the ball, 10 becomes a 9. 1st and 10 from the defense's 42. We are going to throw short. It's a 2. That's a 7-yard catch. The drive ends in a field goal. We'll say 30 yards plus 9 is 39-yard field goal. As South Carolina takes the points, they even it up with a medium-range field goal. Is there a kick return for touchdown? There's not. So Miami on the drive. A 10 is nothing. Oh, big roll. 17. 17 is a we'll call it a halfback off the left tackle. And that's going to be, who was number 5? I can't remember. Is it Barrett? I think Barrett was his name. He was like their All-American running back, and he'll take it to the house. That's from 32 yards as Miami gets a TD run. And the extra point is good. So 10-3 is our score. Miami leads over the number 8 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. So 12 is no run back for a touchdown. So South Carolina, they're going to get a defensive penalty on Miami. So let's see what happens on the play. A 10 becomes a 9. Let's go ahead and throw it deep, knowing that we can just negate the play. We have a 1. A 1 on the pass is going to be a long TD pass, 45 yards plus 4. We're going to call that a 49-yard touchdown pass. I have no idea who plays for the Gamecocks. A 3, though, is going to be no extra point. So you have to get at least a 4 on the extra point try, and that's going to leave them a little bit short. So 10-9 is our score with 1 drive left. Is there going to be a run back by the Hurricanes? There's not. So Miami with the drive. 18 is nothing here. And a 4 is going to be a fumble in the red zone after a promising drive. Let's roll 1d10. A 1 is going to be a fumble return for a touchdown. But that's not what happened. But the opponent is going to get a +1 on their next drive. So South Carolina, that makes them even Steven for the first time, as they get the last drive of the half. 11 is nothing but a 20. Oh my gosh. A long touchdown on play action as they just turn around, fake it to the running back, and they hit it on a 73-yard TD pass to end the half. Wow, that is clutch. So South Carolina ends the half. It's 16-10. Actually, we should go for 2 on that, shouldn't we? Try to get that up to 17. So 13-20 extra. The conversion is good. It's an 11, and they're just going to hit on the 6. So no conversion there. We were going for the 2. It's 15-10. So you should go for that because, yeah. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Sorry, Notre Dame. South Carolina is up first. First drive of the second half. Let's see if there's a kick return for a touchdown. Ooh, almost 5. But no kick return for a touchdown. So on their first drive from scrimmage, a 6 is nothing. A 13 becomes a 12. And that's a sack on third down. Sets up a 42-yard field goal attempt. A 6 is going to be up and in. So 42 yards for the Gamecocks as they add to their lead. 42-yard field goal. And they put up the first points of the third quarter. They now lead this one 18-10. 18-10. Let's see if Miami's got a comeback in them. No kick return touchdown. We have a 20. 20 is a defensive injury. So Miami's going to have +1 to their drives for the rest of the half. So they'll have a +1, not on this drive, but for the other drives. 10, blitz on third and short. It's a 10. That's a defensive stop. It results in a punt. But remember, Miami now has a +1 to their drives here in the second half as a key injury on the South Carolina defense has put them in a spot. 6 is no penalty. 15 becomes 14. Quarterback hurried on third and long. It's a 9. Quarterback is sacked. They settle for a short field goal. That's going to be a 26-yard field goal. And Miami with a chance here as they keep pushing field goals instead of touchdowns. So 18, 21 to 10, but they're going to need a little magic here. Oh, they almost get it on a kick return. So they get a +1, and they're going to need it here. So an 11 is nothing. 8 becomes 9, and Miami with the football. They only have a couple of possessions left, so we're going to push the envelope. We're going to go for the pass. I'm sorry, the deep pass. So 1 to 6, they're going to burn them for a TD pass. 7 to 10 is an interception. It's a 5, and Steve Walsh hits Blades down the sideline. He gets past the last man, and that's going to lead to a TD pass. So that pass is from the 42-yard line, so 42 yards. And that is a 6. So the extra point is good. And that gives them, they're down now, what is that, 21-17. 21-17. So let's see what happens on the ensuing kickoff. No touchdown. South Carolina with the ball. A 9. A 10 becomes a 9. And they have the same choice. They're going to play safe. 1 to 8. It'll be a drive ending in a field goal. It's a 10. The drive is going to end in a punt. Oh my gosh. So Miami is going to get the football back. They look like they may have only a couple of drives left, but they're set up to have the final drive. So a punt. Miami down 14-17, 21-17. Looking for a comeback win here at home. It's a 9. 9 is nothing. A 6. Remember, they get a +1, so that becomes 7. The drive ends near midfield. We're going to get a punt. Good defense by the South Carolina Gamecocks to force the punt. And South Carolina will take their final drive of the game. Let's see, a 15, there's nothing there. A 9, 1st and 10. They're going to, let's see, they have 21. They're up 21-17. They're going to take the points and force a touchdown. So they'll go for the short pass. It's a 1, 7-yard catch. The drive ends with a 32-yard field goal up and in. Sorry. We'll do the kick return. Miami down by a touchdown. And they're going to have the drive of their life here as Jimmy Johnson trying to pull all the right strings. They need a big roll. South Carolina on defense. Miami has a +1. It's going to be a 16. 16 is nothing, but they get an 18. 18 becomes 19. And that is an outside run that goes the distance as they take it to the house. That's going to be 60 yards, 61-yard TD run or 6. Sorry, that should be 3. So they should have 3 here. So 9, 12 plus 12 is 24. And now 14, 17. So you got to go for the tie, right? You can't, you just got to go for the extra point. So 4 to 20. This is going to be tied up. We'll go to overtime. What a clutch touchdown from Miami as we are 24 apiece. Let's see who is going to get the ball first in OT. And we're going to be playing a sudden death. I think it's how they used to play it back in the day. So it's going to be the Gamecocks with the ball. They are going to get the ball first. That was an 8 and a 9. So South Carolina with the kickoff. And that's going to be no kick return for a touchdown. South Carolina with the ball. A 6 is nothing. 17 is a big one, becomes a 16, and they are going to drive it all the way down the field. Miami has no chance, as the Gamecocks are going to take this one with a touchdown run of 18 yards, and they score a touchdown, and that's going to be all she wrote, as Miami doesn't even get a chance to touch the ball. And that will be a 30-24 victory for South Carolina. That was a killer, as it knocks Miami out of the bowl game. We're going to play the bowl game as it was anyway, but what a terrific game from South Carolina, as Miami held on their next to last drive. South Carolina kicks the field goal to put them up by 7. Miami gets the long touchdown run to tie the game, and then South Carolina just drives it down their throat in overtime and scores on an 18-yard touchdown as they take the 30-24 victory over Miami. All right. Number 1, number 2. We're not going to play any sort of, just going to play this one straight up. So on the kickoff, home team is not going to get it, so it'll be OU with the ball first. Oklahoma in their crimson red, white lettering on the helmets, white pants. Miami with the white tops and orange pants with the U on the helmet. So first drive for OU, they run the wishbone. So let's see how it goes here. It's going to be a 9. 9 will be 1st and 10. We're going to go for a short pass because that's what they would have done. 7-yard catch. Drive ends in a 34-yard field goal. And OU takes the points. Ensuing kickoff, no kick return. Miami gets their first drive of the game. A 14, an 11, 9-play drive reaches the edge of field goal range. A long field goal or a punt. We're going to give it to their field goal kicker, Cox. He was a really good one. He hit a 50-something yard field goal in the actual game. I'll watch the highlights of the game. It's a 10, and that's going to be a field goal missed from 41 yards. So field goal missed. And let's see if there is some sort of field goal block for return for a touchdown. A 4, there's no block. And so that's going to be just a field goal missed. We'll go with OU's next drive. An 8 is nothing. An 11, same thing. They're going to be faced with the same situation. They are going to take the punt. And Miami is going to have this drive with a -1. They start down inside their own 5-yard line. 10 is nothing. 6 becomes 5. That's a quick 3 and out. So that will lead to a punt. And the opponent gets an extra drive. So we're going to give OU 2 drives in a row. A 9 is nothing. A 6, that's going to be 2nd and 4. Do we choose to run the ball? We will. A 7 is going to be a first down. We roll again. And 12 is nothing here. 5, quick 3 and out with a punt. So we'll give Miami the next 2. So they sort of even out. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and they kind of even each other out there, but we'll give OU the next one. Sorry. So a 14 is nothing. A 17 is going to be a touchdown run as they get loose. And that run will be for 32 yards. And they get the extra point, and OU is going to take a 10-0 lead. But Miami's going to get a couple of shots at it here to end the half. A 9-0 here, 6. 2nd and 4 from midfield. Let's do the running play for a first down. They get it, and we roll again. That's a good one. 14 is nothing. 17 is going to be a long touchdown run, so they get the long touchdown run too. That's going to be from 35 yards. And the extra point is good. So Miami on the board is 10-7, and Miami's going to get another roll here. 16-0, 13. Red zone trip ends with a chip shot field goal. That's going to be 24 yards. And Miami will tie it at the half. So just before time runs out, they tie it up, and they're going to get the ball first in the second half. We still haven't had a kick return for a touchdown yet, but it's out there, 1% chance. 10-10 is our score. Miami and OU in the championship game. We still have no kick return for a touchdown. Miami gets the ball first. It'll be a 6. 6 is nothing. A 5 is going to be a quick 3 and out. So we'll have a punt. And OU will get the next 2 possessions. Good defense by the Sooners. 12 is nothing here. 8. 4th and 2. Go for the quarterback sneak. They get it. And a 12. Oh, we should do the whole thing again. So an 11 is nothing. 8. We get the 4th and 2 again. We'll do the quarterback sneak. We get it again. A 9 is nothing. An 8. 4th and 2 again. We go for the sneak, and they just keep getting it. We'll see if they can roll something else. 18 is nothing. 12, we finally get a different result. Sack on 3rd down. It brings up a 42-yard field goal attempt. 1-6. It's good, and it is 42 yards. So field goal. 42 yards. Sorry. That's 3. As they get 3 here in the second half. And we will roll again. 7 is nothing. A 7 here is an 8-play drive. Ends at midfield. This is going to be a punt. A 2 is a normal punt. As the Miami defense holds. Giving up the extra possession. It's now 13-10 in a defensive struggle. Miami's second possession of the second half. They get a 7. That's nothing. And 11 is a 9-play drive. Gets to the edge of field goal range. Do we take the long field goal or do we punt? We are going to punt the ball. And they're going to wind up. So Johnson down by 3 points. Thinks that his defense can hold. And so OU is going to get a -1 on this drive. A 5 is an offensive penalty. 12, sack on 3rd down. The defense is going to take the penalty and force a punt here instead of Miami getting a chance for a field goal. That should be 0, not 3. And so Miami's going to get the ball. They get a couple more cracks at it here. Potentially a couple of cracks. It could go a different way. 7 is nothing. 16, that's huge. 12-play clock-chewing drive. Oh my gosh, and Miami comes up clutch as they take it in on a 15-yard TD run. That's going to be 15 yards for 6. That gives them 16, and they need to kick the extra point. A 3, oh no. They miss. And the door is open. But because of that long drive, OU is going to get skipped. Oh my gosh. Miami has to play out this last drive, though. So OU's final possession gets skipped, and Miami is going to have the ball to end the game. And let's see what happens here. Actually, let's see if there's a touchdown on the kickoff. That could change things. There's not. So OU is going to get skipped because of the long touchdown drive. You skip the next drive for the opponent, and Miami is going to get the ball. They could potentially give it up here. So let's see. There are lots of ways to score on defense. 15 is nothing. 17 is going to be a touchdown run as they break loose. And they're going to put this one away. The extra point is good. So 6 + 1. The TD run, we'll call that good from 35 yards. And that scamper is going to give Miami a huge victory as they win 23-13. And Miami is your national championships champions. They go so they were 7, 8, 9-2 in this replay. As they lost to South Carolina, they would not have had a shot at Miami if we were redoing everything. But they lose to South Carolina, and they lost to who they lost? They lost to somebody early, Arkansas. So it was number 10 Arkansas at home beat Miami, and then number 8 South Carolina. So some SEC teams coming in and taking care of business against Miami. So this is using the advanced charts for this game. You can see there's a lot more decision making and things like that. These are the regular charts, so the kind of the basic charts. It's a little bit more sitting and watching and seeing what happens, but a lot of the same mechanics and things like that. It's just not as many things are happening here. You can see. Just try to show you some of those things on the sheet. So there's a game-changing defensive player, a safety, or a pick six. And then just all types of opportunities for choosing. We played 3 games, so you saw most of these happen here. There's a long touchdown pass, a long touchdown run. There's a long touchdown pass with a penalty. So if the offense wins, if the penalty is on the offense, then the drive stalls out and it leads to a field goal. But if there's a penalty on the defense, then they decline the penalty and they take the touchdown pass. So there's some sort of opportunities for the game to kind of go either way in these. It's not really sitting back and watching. It's more making choices. And then there's a few options there for sitting back to watch as well. But there's an opportunity for like fumbles. And here, after a turnover, the recovering team is going to get a +1. So whatever, even if they're -1 here, they get a +1, which would even them out, give them a stronger roll than they've had. If they're a plus already, then they'll add to that plus and make it an even stronger roll. The fourth down, so these are going to be your plays you get to the most often. Are you going to punt or kick a field goal? Will there be a fumble? Are you going to throw it deep or short? If you throw it short, you're almost guaranteed a field goal. If you throw it deep, you have the looming interception there. Do you go for the quarterback sneak or the play action 45-yard touchdown on the pass? And again, there's another chance for an interception, about 50-50, 60-40. And then the quarterback sneak will get you another roll, but you're not guaranteed that your next roll is going to be good. So there's a lot of sort of give and take. I think the gameplay is super fun. And again, it only takes you like 5 or 10 minutes to play out a game, depending on how, I'm talking through all this kind of stuff and setting the mood and all that kind of thing. But it only takes realistically about 5 to 10 minutes to play a game. But it feels like you're, especially with the advanced charts, you're making enough decisions. It's not just roll the dice, get a score, roll the dice, get a score. It's more like you really feel kind of the ebb and flow of the game. So hopefully you can feel that within the game itself. We got a couple of touchdowns, a lot of scoring here near the end of the half. We were tied. Going to the second half, there were some missed opportunities here. OU did hit on a long field goal, but Miami really stymied in the second half by the defense. They finally get the touchdown run, and that was a long drive, which apparently Miami was known for in 1987. They've had a few of those in this season, but they get the long touchdown run or the long touchdown drive capped off by a 15-yard run. OU skips their last one. They could have still, they could have still scored on the kickoff return here. They could have still scored on a defensive touchdown or a punt block for a touchdown or a field goal kick for a touchdown. Like, there's lots of defensive ways to score. So because Miami was only up 7 points, we're going to make them run that out. If they were up by 10 with one drive left, I'm not going to necessarily make them run that out. They would clock the ball or just run the ball and sort of turn it over on downs or whatever, or run the clock out. And then they would just sort of have that score. But if you want to run it out all the way, you can, and just kind of see what the final score would be. All right. Hopefully you enjoy this game. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in this game, you can join the Facebook group and download this in the file sections for free. The Facebook group is the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. So if you go to Facebook groups and answer a few questions, agree to the group rules, and I will be happy to let you in. And you can, again, go to the file section. If you're already a member of that Facebook group, you can go to the file section and download what you see here. So this version and the basic version also have a small game guide that kind of helps you to know what's what. I think if you watch one game or watch a few, one of these videos where you see multiple games, you'll be able to tell what's going on there. And this is just how I've been keeping track of scores. You can see there it's pretty basic, just keeping track of the total score, and then keeping track of the what's happening for each play. I think being able to go in and have the play, like how long is the field goal, how long is the touchdown play, so chip shot field goal, 20 yards plus a D10, and that just gives you like a little extra detail in there for when you want to go back. You can see, oh, that was a 29-yard field goal after a 40-yard field goal, and they had a touchdown run, and you could determine how far it is. So 27-yard touchdown pass there. So it's some cool things that are going on inside the game, and this feels like it's ready for prime time. So I'm putting it out there for people to play. You can also, I'll put it on the website for you to download as well, and then we'll have a true link out there, but you won't have to be part of Facebook. So if you'll wait for that, I'll get the game out there and maybe just try to jazz it up a little bit, maybe make it a little bit nicer looking so that when you print it out, you'll have kind of a nicer version of the game. And what you can do is you can use it with any football rankings that you have. So if, say, you have the top 136 now FCS teams, then there's provision inside the game guide. There's a little matrix there. So if you're a top 10 team versus a lower team, like from 51 to 136, you get a +3 advantage. And then there's the home field disadvantage, I guess is what you should call it. So the visiting team gets a -1. So if your top 10 team was at one of those teams, they would get +3 and -1. So overall, a +2 against that team. If you don't think that there's much home field advantage, you can just play it however you want. This is, it's the beauty of tabletop games. It's yours to do as you want. If you think they should get a +10 advantage, then that's what you should do. But the matrix allows for different types of teams. So top 10 versus 26 to 50 is only a +2 advantage. Against a ranked team, but not a top 10 team, there's a +1. And then top 10 versus top 10, there's no advantage for either team. But if you did want to play the home field advantage like we did here, that would be totally appropriate. Bowl games, maybe you just want to be neutral. There's no advantage or disadvantage either way unless they're playing against a team that they're clearly outclassing. So a top 10 versus 11 to 25. Or maybe you want to say top 10 versus 20 to 25. Then they get the advantage. But a top 10 versus an 11 to 20, Those are basically the same kinds of teams. If you want to do that, you can. The engine, again, is up to you. And you can choose to homebrew anything that you want to. If you play it and you see anything that needs to be added to the game, I think I've gotten most everything in there. You have safeties, you have pick sixes, fumble returns for a TD. There's a chance for a kickoff return for a TD. We don't have a punt return, but I suppose you could do that. You could do the same thing and roll for a 2 after each punt. And then that would give you a punt return for a TD. We had a punt block for a touchdown for Miami, and that led the way before the half. That put them up 17-6 against Notre Dame as their last possession. There was a block punt for a TD. So we have that in the game. We have long TD runs, long TD passes. We have this clock chewing drive that skips the next possession because it just takes so long. We have the quick 3 and out, which gives the opponent an extra drive. So it's like a penalty for getting that quick 3 and out. We get a fumble return for a TD. There's a pick 6, so that's an interception return for a TD. We got long field goals. We got field goals you can choose, field goals you can just sit and watch. We have options here for you to be able to see. There is a punt return for a TD here. So you don't necessarily have to do it after each punt, but you could if you wanted to. But there's a punt return for a TD, a 10 on the secondary roll of a 7 is a punt return for a TD. So 1 is a punt block for a TD, 10 is a punt return for a TD. So I tried to get everything in there. We get penalties in there. There's another penalty here that happens in the game. So it's like you're getting the flavor. You just want to get a little flavor, a little taste of football, and be able to just knock something out super fast. You could play using the play action football cards. I don't have them here in front of me, but each team is rated, the offense is rated 0 to +3. The defense is rated 0 to -3. Basically, you would take the offensive team versus the defensive team, add those two together. So say you had a +3 against a -2. That would give you +1 for that offensive team. And then you just give them a +1 on their drives. If, let's say, the offense is a 2, but it's going against a -2 defense, that's a 0. So you would give them 0. But if the offense is a 0 going against a -2 defense, they would be a -2 on every drive. So you could adapt this to be able to play with play action football very easily. And then, you just have your +1s, +2s, +3s, and then you're going to get, for injuries, you're going to have different adjustments that need to be made for injuries. And for the turnovers, you're also going to get a +1 or whatever as sort of a momentum kick to the team. So I feel like the game kind of has everything in it. It reminds me, this might even need to be called AIG football. It kind of reminds me of the hockey game or the soccer game, those types of things. And sort of going definitely in that direction. But it would be a great addition to play action football. If you have generalized ratings where you could even just rate NFL teams yourself, or different leagues, European League or the USFL, or however you want to rate those teams, you can rate those teams, and then you can give them those modifiers. And I would suggest, rating them either overall and then doing an overall minus the other team, or rating the offenses and rating the defenses, and then, each team is on offense for their drive. So that's how you want to kind of apply the ratings here. I'm just using the team rankings within you could use the AP or the coaches poll or the BCS poll or whatever you want to do. Going forward, what I'm anticipating for this game is creating the ability to start with a preseason top 10, and then you play the first week. And then after the first week, you reconfigure everything based off of what was played on your tabletop. So that's, I'm trying to get to that place. I'm trying to put a formula in place that would be easy for you to kind of plug into a spreadsheet and just say, okay, based off of points scored, points against, previous rank, What are some of the other things? They're not necessarily strength of schedule. That's kind of hard to get to as far as data is concerned, but there's a couple of the other data points, their win-loss record, so their winning percentage, that type of stuff. Then you can reconstitute your top 25 so that you don't necessarily, like I'm just going through and using the rankings, which would be great to just do a replay and play it each game as it actually happened. But you could actually reconstitute your top 25 or your top 130 or 125 or whatever it is. And then you can play week number 2 based off of those new rankings, based off of the gameplay on your tabletop. And then after week 2, you reshuffle and you sort of play out those seasons going that way. And then you wind up with a final week. You play out your bowl games, decide your bowl games, play out your bowl games, and then you have a new sort of top 25 as you finish your bowl games. Then you put everybody back into, some sort of ranking system, and then you have a new top 25 preseason poll or top, team rankings all the way down the line. And then you would go and start a new season. So it would be like you're creating history, sort of a out of the park kind of deal, where you start at one season and then you move your way all the way through. Now I'll come up with what I can there, but I think there's some really smart folks out there who may have already been doing this. Maybe you have some ideas about that. You can email me at clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com. I'm really happy to have a system in place if you already do this kind of thing, a formula that would take all the things that we can get out of here. So we can get the number of points scored. We can get previous rankings. We can get wins and losses. We can get the previous rank of the opponent. So sort of, or we can do, top 10 victories, top 25 victories. Like, we have access to that sort of data and information. So that could help to weight a formula to be able to set this up so that we can just sort of put it on a spreadsheet, apply the formula, get a score, and then we can rank everybody in terms of that numerical score based off of a weighted formula. So that, to me, it's kind of a BCS type of weighting or ranking, sort of basic. At the first year of the BCS, when they put it in, they kind of had all these formulas that they used based off of kind of those generic pre-sabermetric type of statistics. So SRS is a little bit different, I think. But we had these rankings, and then they would rank them numerically, and it would feel probably a lot like that initial BCS system. And then you would be able to make those, you could decide yourself, is margin of victory a big deal? You could apply margin of victory if you wanted to. Some people care about that. Some people don't. Maybe it can count for 5 or 10%, but however you wanted to make that formula, you could. And then basically you just go from week to week to week, reconstituting everything. They played 11 games here, 12 games. That's sort of generally how they went. I think Miami went 11-0. OU went 10. They were... OU was 11-1, so they played 12 games. Miami went 12-0. So I guess they were. I guess they were 10-2. Probably missed one somewhere along the way. So they were 10-2, or no. No, yeah, they had to be 10-2. So, because they lost 2 games in our record. Maybe I didn't give them this win here. So that's how that goes. All right, if you stuck around this long, thanks. Just wanted to make sure I provided an update on this game and what all was going to be included and everything that I'm sort of thinking for the future. It'll take a little bit of time to flesh that stuff out, but again, you can join the Facebook group and get this download for free. Otherwise, I'll make it available on the website and give it a link, and then I'll put that down in the description. And you can just download the game and try it out for yourself. Again, you can just use the game engine with any. This is 1987. I've used it with 2024, 2025. You can pre-play each week of the current season if you wanted to, using the games, and see how that goes. If you use the basic sheet here, you'll probably get a little bit more of a true sense of how the teams were and how they would play against one another, because it's more like you're watching the game. All right. Again, click subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You'll get notified of new videos when they're posted. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And otherwise, enjoy the football today and have a wonderful Saturday. And enjoy the last vestiges of the summer across most of the country. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.